The twins arrived screaming into a galaxy that had just fallen into darkness. Luke, Leia, two perfect, fragile lives, born from a love that was supposed to save everything. But Padme was dying. The medical droids hovered uselessly as her heartbeat weakened. Obi-Wan stood in the shadows, helpless, and Vader, still burning beneath his new black armor, felt her fading through the Force like a star going cold. He shouldn't have come. Palpatine believed she was already dead, believed the children had died with her. But Vader had sensed them. Across the stars, through the pain, he had felt them. Now, as he stood in the doorway of that sterile room, Padme's eyes found his. She knew, even through the mask, even through the monster he'd become, she knew him. Anakin, her voice was barely a whisper. Please. He stepped closer. The droid scattered. Obi-Wan's hand moved toward his lightsaber, but he didn't draw it. Not yet. Padme's fingers trembled as she reached toward the twins bundled beside her. Promise me, she breathed. Protect them. Don't let him take them. Vader's fist clenched. His breathing, mechanical, harsh, filled the silence. They're all that's left, Padme whispered, tears sliding down her face. All that's left of us. For a moment, the galaxy held its breath. The Dark Lord of the Sith stared down at his wife, at his children, at everything he'd destroyed to gain power, and everything he'd lost because of it. Palpatine's voice echoed in his mind. She betrayed you. The Jedi betrayed you. Let go of the past. But these weren't the past. They were his. Vader turned to Obi-Wan. Leave, he commanded, his voice cold and distorted. Tell no one what you saw here. If the Emperor learns of this, they die. Obi-Wan's expression twisted in anguish and confusion. Anakin, you can't go. The Jedi Master hesitated, then slowly backed away, vanishing into the corridor. Padme's hand fell limp. Her eyes closed, and Darth Vader stood alone, with two infants who would either become his salvation or his final damnation. The Dark Lord gathered his children into his arms and disappeared into the black. Mustafar became a tomb, and inside that tomb, two children learned to breathe fire. Vader's fortress rose from the lava plains like a blackened fawn. No one questioned its construction. No one dared approach. The Emperor believed his apprentice was building a meditation chamber, a place to dwell on his pain and grow stronger in the dark side. He wasn't entirely wrong, but the fortress held more than rage and regret. It held Luke and Leia Skywalker. Droids attended to them in the early years. Medical units, nanny droids, protocol units programmed to teach language and history. Vader watched from the shadows, his presence a constant, silent weight. He told himself it was pragmatism. The children were powerful. He could feel it. Their connection to the Force burned bright, brighter than any Force-sensitive child he'd encountered. They were weapons waiting to be forged. But late at night, when the twins slept, Vader would stand at their chamber door and remember what it felt like to be Anakin Skywalker, to be a father, to hold Padme's hand and dream of a future that would never come. Palpatine grew suspicious only once. I sense a disturbance in you, Lord Vader, the Emperor hissed during a hologram transmission. His yellow eyes narrowed. You are distracted. I'm focused, Master, Vader replied, his voice steady. I am preparing. For what? A pause. Then, to serve the Empire without weakness. Palpatine's smile was cold and knowing. Good. Weakness is a disease, my apprentice. It must be burned out. The transmission ended. Vader stood in silence, staring at his reflection in the dark glass. Burned out. Yes. He understood that better than anyone. The twins grew quickly. By the time they were 5, they could move objects with their minds. Small things at first, toys, datapads, training orbs. Then heavier objects. Chairs, droids, doors. Vader began their training in earnest. No mercy, no softness. The galaxy was cruel, and they would need to be crueler. But when Leia looked up at him with Padme's eyes and asked, "Why do we have to stay hidden, Father?" Vader had no answer. Because the moment Palpatine discovered them, the choice would be made for him. The training hall was a cathedral of pain. Lava rivers glowed beyond reinforced transparent steel walls, casting the chamber in hellish red light. Luke and Leia stood across from each other, lightsabers ignited, his blue, hers green. Vader watched from the platform above. Again, he commanded. They clashed. Leia was faster, her strikes surgical and precise. Luke was stronger, his swings heavy and relentless. They'd been sparring since dawn, and neither would yield. This was how Vader taught them. Through exhaustion, through pain, through the raw, desperate need to survive. Emotion fuels the Force, he'd told them 1,000 times. Anger, fear, hate, these are not weaknesses. They are weapons, and the twins had learned well. Leia drove Luke back with a flurry of strikes, then reached out with the Force and hurled a training droid at his head. He deflected it midair, spinning and sending it crashing into the wall. Good, Vader said, but not enough. He raised his hand, and the floor beneath them erupted. Debris flew. The twins leapt aside, using the Force to shield themselves as chunks of stone and metal exploded around them. Leia rolled, came up in a crouch, and hurled her lightsaber like a spear. Luke deflected it with his blade, caught it telekinetically, and threw it back. Vader stopped it an inch from Leia's throat. Silence. Enough. The twins deactivated their sabers, breathing hard. Sweat dripped from their faces. Their robes were scorched and torn. Vader descended the platform, his cape dragging behind him. You hesitate, he said, his voice cold. Both of you. You hold back. We were trying not to kill each other, Luke muttered. That is your weakness. Vader loomed over them. In a real fight, your enemy will not hold back. The galaxy will not show you mercy. If you hesitate, you die. Leia's jaw tightened. Then why keep us hidden? She challenged. If we're so powerful, why lock us away like prisoners? Luke glanced at her, uneasy. She always pushed too far. Vader's breathing filled the silence. Because, he said slowly, the Emperor would kill you the moment he learned you existed. And for the first time, the twins realized their father might be afraid of something after all. The hologram flickered to life in Vader's meditation chamber. Palpatine's face materialized, ancient and cold. His yellow eyes gleamed with suspicion. Lord Vader, the Emperor rasped, I have felt a tremor in the Force. A presence. No, two presences orbiting you like moons. Vader's fists clenched behind his back. I do not understand, Master. Do not lie to me. Palpatine's voice sharpened. I have tolerated your isolation, your secrets. But this is something far more dangerous. Silence stretched between them. You will return to Coruscant, Palpatine commanded, and you will bring these apprentices before me. I will see them with my own eyes. The transmission ended. Vader stood motionless in the dark. For 16 years, he had kept them hidden, raised them, trained them, turned them into instruments of power that rivaled even the Emperor's inquisitors. But Palpatine was not a fool. He knew, and now Vader had no choice. He descended into the lower levels of the fortress, where Luke and Leia were sparring in the training yard. They stopped the moment they sensed him. We're leaving Mustafar, Vader announced. Leia's eyes narrowed. Where? Coruscant. Luke's expression shifted, excitement mixed with apprehension. They'd never left Mustafar, never seen another world, never met another living soul beyond droids and their father. The Emperor wants to meet you, Vader continued, his tone flat. You will stand before him. You will show respect. You will obey. Why now? Leia pressed. What changed? Vader turned his masked face toward her. He knows you exist, and if you displease him, he will kill you both without hesitation. The twins exchanged a glance. Then why take us at all? Luke asked quietly. Vader's breathing filled the silence. Because, he said, if I refuse, he will come here, and he will kill you anyway. There was no good choice. No safe path. Only survival. Pack nothing, Vader ordered. We leave within the hour. He walked away, his cape billowing behind him, and the twins stood alone, realizing for the first time they were about to meet the monster who had created their father. The throne room was a cavern of shadows. Emperor Palpatine sat on his dark throne like a spider at the center of a web. His yellow eyes tracked the twins as they approached, flanked by their father. Luke tried not to stare. Leia kept her chin high, defiant. "Ah," Palpatine hissed, leaning forward. "So these are the secrets you have been hiding, Lord Vader." "They are my apprentices, Master," Vader replied, his voice carefully neutral. "I have trained them to serve the Empire." "Apprentices?" Palpatine's smile was venomous. "How ambitious of you." He rose from his throne, descending the steps with slow, deliberate menace. He circled the twins like a predator sizing up prey. "Tell me, young ones," Palpatine purred, "do you know who you are?" Luke hesitated. "We are Vader's children." "Yes, but do you know what that means?" The Emperor's gaze slid to Vader. "Have you told them, my apprentice? Have you told them about their mother?" Vader's breathing hitched just slightly. Leia's eyes narrowed. "Our mother is dead." "Indeed." Palpatine's smile widened. "But how did she die, I wonder?" Silence. The Emperor turned back to Vader. "Go on, tell them. Or shall I?" Vader said nothing. Palpatine's laugh was cold and cruel. "Your mother was Padme Amidala, a senator, a fool who believed in peace and democracy. And your father, Anakin Skywalker, loved her more than life itself." Luke's breath caught. Leia went rigid. "But love," Palpatine continued, "is a poison. It made him weak. It made him desperate. And when he believed she had betrayed him." The Emperor paused, savoring the moment. He choked the life from her with his own hands. The words hung in the air like smoke. Luke stared at his father, horrified. Leia's fists clenched, her fury barely contained. "That is the man who raised you," Palpatine whispered. "A murderer, a traitor to everything he once loved. And now," he smiled, "you will serve me, just as he does." Vader stepped forward. "They are loyal, Master. I have ensured it." "We shall see," Palpatine said softly. But in that moment, Leia's hand drifted toward her lightsaber, and something dark and dangerous ignited in her eyes. Leia didn't sleep that night. She stood on the balcony of their assigned quarters in the Imperial Palace, staring out at the endless cityscape of Coruscant. Billions of lights, billions of lives crushed beneath the Empire's heel. And at the center of it all, two monsters. Her father and his master. Luke found her there an hour before dawn. "You're planning something," he said quietly. She didn't turn. "I'm planning to survive." "Leia." "He killed her, Luke." Her voice trembled with barely restrained fury. "Our mother. He strangled her because he thought she betrayed him. And now we're supposed to just obey? Serve the Empire like good little soldiers." Luke stepped beside her. "He's still our father. He's a murderer. So are we." Luke's voice was soft, but it cut deep. "We've been training to kill since we were children. You think we're any different?" Leia finally turned to face him. Her eyes, Padme's eyes, burned with determination. "We can be. We don't have to become what he is." "Then what do you want to do?" She leaned closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. "I want to destroy them. Both of them. Vader, Palpatine, the entire Sith Order." Luke's breath caught. That's insane." "Is it?" Leia challenged. "We're powerful, Luke. Maybe even more powerful than they realize. If we work together, they'll kill us," Luke interrupted. "The second they sense betrayal, they'll kill us. Then we make sure they don't sense it." Leia's expression hardened. "We play along. We pretend to be loyal. And when the moment is right," she mimed, igniting a lightsaber, "we strike." Luke shook his head, stepping back. "I won't help you kill our father. Even after what he did. Especially after what he did." Luke's voice cracked. "Because I've seen him, Leia. I've seen the way he looks at us when he thinks we're not watching. There's something still human in there. Something worth saving." Leia's jaw tightened. "Then you're a fool." Luke met her gaze, pain and resolve warring in his eyes. "Maybe, but I'm not a murderer." And as the twin suns rose over Coruscant, the family began to fracture. Palpatine summoned Vader alone. The throne room was empty, save for the Emperor and the shadow he cast across the galaxy. Your children are strong, Palpatine said, his tone casual. Stronger than I expected. The girl, especially. She has ambition. Vader stood silent, waiting. But ambition is dangerous, my apprentice. Palpatine's smile faded. Ambition leads to betrayal. And I sense betrayal in her heart. She is loyal, Master, Vader said carefully. Is she? Palpatine rose from his throne, descending the steps slowly. Then prove it. Bring her before me. And kill her. The words struck like a lightsaber through the chest. Vader's breathing faltered. Master, now Lord Vader. Palpatine's voice turned to ice. I will kill both of them, and you will watch. Vader stood frozen. This was the test. The final test. Palpatine had always known it would come. Love or power. The light or the dark. Well, the Emperor hissed. What will it be? Vader's fist clenched. For 16 years, he had lived in this cage. Served this monster. Believed there was no escape. But now, no, Vader said quietly. Palpatine's eyes widened. What? I will not kill my children. Vader's voice grew stronger. Not for you. Not for the Empire. Not for anyone. The Emperor's expression twisted into fury. Then you have chosen death. Palpatine raised his hands, and lightning exploded from his fingertips. Vader ignited his lightsaber, deflecting the torrent of energy. The throne room blazed with blue-white fire. The walls cracked. The floor buckled. You were nothing before me. Palpatine screamed, pouring more power into the assault. I made you, and I will unmake you. Vader roared, pushing back against the storm. But he was weakening. His armor, designed to sustain him, was also his greatest vulnerability. The lightning seared through the circuits, burning, crippling. The throne room doors exploded inward. Luke and Leia stood framed in the entrance, lightsabers ignited. Father! Luke shouted, and for the first time in 16 years, the Skywalker family fought together. Palpatine's laughter echoed through the crumbling throne room. Fools! He shrieked, hurling torrents of Force lightning at the trio. You think love can defeat me? I am the dark side incarnate. Vader collapsed to one knee, his armor sparking and smoking. Luke rushed to his side, blocking the lightning with his lightsaber. Leia circled wide, looking for an opening. Together, Vader rasped, struggling to his feet. Strike together. They moved as one. Luke lunged left. Leia attacked from the right. Vader charged straight ahead, his crimson blade blazing. Palpatine met them with inhuman speed. His lightsaber, a weapon few had ever seen, materialized in his withered hand, a shaft of pure red death. He parried Luke's strike, kicked Leia back, and locked blades with Vader. You were my masterpiece, Palpatine hissed into Vader's mask. And now you betray me for these children? They're all I have left, Vader growled. Then you will die with nothing. Palpatine unleashed a wave of Force energy that sent all three sprawling. Debris rained down. The walls groaned. The throne itself cracked in half. Luke struggled to rise, blood streaming from a gash above his eye. Leia's arm hung limp, dislocated. Vader lay motionless, his breathing faint and irregular. Palpatine advanced slowly, savoring his victory. The Skywalker line ends here. But Leia wasn't done. She reached deep, deeper than she ever had before, into the Force. Not the darkness her father taught her. Not the rage she'd carried since learning the truth. Something else. Something brighter. No, she whispered, rising to her feet. It doesn't. Her lightsaber ignited, but the blade was no longer green. It burned white. Palpatine's eyes widened in shock. Luke stared, stunned. Leia? She didn't answer. She charged. And this time, when their blades met, Palpatine screamed. Vader forced himself upright one last time. He saw his daughter, blazing with light and fury, driving the Emperor back step by step. Padme, he whispered. Then Luke grabbed his hand. Come on. We finished this together, and the Skywalkers rose as one to end a reign of darkness forever. Fine.